So normally when I make these videos, I have some kind of intro monologue about how it's difficult to find good games on Roblox. Well, I don't know exactly what happened, but finding good games has become extremely easy. At least for me, Roblox has actually made a good change to their website for once, which is crazy. Anyways, in this video, I'm going to showcase and review 5 games which I've had a lot of fun playing recently. Unlike the last 5 games video, this list doesn't have any strict qualifications, just 5 relatively unpopular games which I think deserve more players. One thing I want to clarify is that the games I showcase are often similar genres because it's based on what I like and not an objective point of view. But I did make an effort to diversify this list since I had such an easy time finding good games. Here we go. Frontline Karelia. I've actually been playing this game for a year or two now, and I've wanted to include it in a video for a while. Basically, this is Red Orchestra 2 recreated in Roblox. Okay, not really, but it does take a lot of inspiration from that game, and that is in no way a bad thing. The Red Orchestra and Rising Storm series of games are my favorite FPS games of all time. They just feel different. If you've played these games, you understand what I'm saying, and Frontline Karelia has that feeling. If I had to put it into words, unlike a lot of FPS games, there's no meta and it's not just about reaction times. Sure, some weapons are better than others depending on the situation, but every weapon always feels useful. Even at close range, the bolt actions don't feel hopelessly outmatched by the SMGs, and if you have an SMG, you can pick off enemies at a distance if you aim carefully. There are also some tactical elements like the suppression system. If you know where the enemy is but it's a difficult shot, you can suppress them while moving into a better position. In general, your knowledge of the game is just as important as your FPS skills. I haven't mentioned it yet, but this game is based off of the Winter War and the Continuation War. Karelia is this region of Europe, and during the years of World War II, the Soviet Union attempted to take Finland under its control just like it had with many other regions during the 20s and 30s. At first, this ended in failure for the Soviets, at great cost to both sides. 15 months later, Operation Barbarossa would begin, the German invasion of the Soviet Union, and Finland was once again at war with the Soviets. This time, with German assistance, they invaded the previously lost territory, stopping short of Leningrad. Now, if you know anything about World War II, you can probably guess what happens next. That was a huge oversimplification, but this is a Roblox video, so... Since the last time I played Frontline Karelia, it's been updated quite a bit. This map specifically got a complete remaster, and when I first joined, I was surprised by how good it looked. And it's not just a visual overhaul, the map itself plays better too. The animations seem to be better as well. I'm not fully knowledgeable about everything that's been changed, so I'm not gonna list stuff off as if I know for sure it's been updated. It's just a good game for people who like slower paced FPSs, but don't want a walking simulator. Like the games it takes inspiration from. Red Orchestra 2, Rising Storm, you know. This is Chaos at the Bistro. It's a small bar fighting game where you throw stuff at people and beat them up. I had a lot of fun with this one after it randomly got recommended to me and I just had to share it. The controls are pretty simple. Click to punch, right click to block, X to pick stuff up, C to crouch, and if you hit G you'll see some quests you can do to get cash. But honestly, you could just ignore that since playing the game normally will get you all the cash you need. What it's for though is it allows you to purchase items. There's a few drinks that enhance your stats or heal you. Also there are unique weapons that can't be found on the map. If you really save up your cash, you get cosmetic effects, but I personally didn't care about that. As far as I can tell, you can't actually purchase cash. Even if you could, that wouldn't make the game pay to win, since there's a cooldown for purchases. So they could have added that as an option. Maybe they did, but I didn't see it. I really like the combat in this game, even though it's clunky sometimes. There's some stuff I'm probably not fully knowledgeable about, but basically whenever you land a hit on someone, you fill up this bar, and at 3 hits you get an uppercut that knocks them down and does large damage. This is just 3 hits in general, so you can use a group fight to farm for uppercuts. Also, if you punch while running at someone, you knock them down, but it doesn't do any damage. It's still a useful utility though, since it stuns them and you could punch people on the floor if you crouch. But my favorite part is the throwable items. Stun chaining people by throwing perfectly timed chairs at them is just the funniest thing you could do. Or sniping someone with the bottle. This combat system makes it actually possible to turn the tide of fights. At least in my experience, in a lot of melee games, once the enemy starts winning, it's just over. But maybe I haven't played good melee games. So there was quite a few times where I was being chased by people and I was one tap, and I just kept running until I could find something I could throw at them. And once I did that, I won. I mean, it wasn't that simple, but you know. If you don't care about the combat, you could just throw chairs at people, which is funny. I like to go to the top of the stairs and push people down or throw chairs at them as they try to go up. It's great, a lot of fun. Try this game if that interests you. Build to Survive the Robots is a modern remake of those old Build to Survive games, and it just does things right. It's fun, the building system allows for unique opportunities, like this McDonald's. Playing as a robot and destroying the towers is satisfying, just like it was in the original games. Honestly, it doesn't require much explanation, but I'll try to say something. When you build your tower as the humans, make sure to connect all the different stacks, so that way each stack has to be destroyed to take you down. When you're playing as a robot, pay attention to the structures and try to wither them down over time instead of just running after humans. This game has some stuff you can grind for, like upgrades to your weapons and additional building materials. Honestly, I only paid attention to the building aspect since I had hardly any opportunities for PvP. Most of the time I was just hanging out with the other players, like in this stupid clip where we pretend this guy's a giant gummy. And then he died? Yeah. It seems like a lot of the players don't take the game very seriously, which makes it more fun for me at least. If that interests you, then go ahead and try this game. Flooded area. This one's kinda interesting. If you know that older game, Whatever Floats Your Boat by Quenti, it's similar to that. Basically, the water is rising, there are random parts everywhere, and you have a unique building system at your disposal. Sometimes the game mode is PvP, sometimes it's just survival. By winning matches, you get a currency you can use to unlock perks and such. But the perks don't seem to give you a large advantage since they have downsides, at least from what I've seen. It's kinda complicated, but not really. There's a crafting system that allows you to get parts that don't spawn in. Some of these parts allow you to make really cool stuff, which honestly I haven't tried. Most of the time I'm too focused on just surviving to do any of the advanced stuff. I did craft a cannon once. When it's a PvP focused round, you'll spawn in with a sword, and sometimes the map is set up with teams and weapons. For me, the main appeal of this game was just the fact that you could paddle your boat using the building system. In some ways, it also reminds me of this older game where you raced around inside an unanchored box. I forgot what that was called. Anyways, as the round progresses, things get more dangerous, parts start to melt as the water becomes acidic, the waves become more frequent and meteors start falling, so you have to do your best to dodge all these things, but the bigger your boat is, the harder it is to move, unless you crafted a thruster. And if your boat is too small, unless it's made out of a special part, it'll melt pretty quickly. Care packages will parachute in, and they can also be used as building materials themselves, so if you keep an eye out and paddle towards them, you can increase your chances of surviving. For some reason, the keybinds just didn't stick in my head. I don't know why. It's not like they're terrible or unintuitive. E and F are used to weld and unweld parts together. There's another one to align parts, and I forgot it. I think it was G. Q is used to activate special parts, like explosives or thrusters. Z and X change the distance at which you hold a part in front of you, which is kind of interesting and useful. You know what, I don't have to explain this, just play the tutorial, it's kind of fun on its own, honestly. The lobby of this game reminds me of a lot of older Roblox games where they had just a ton of useless stuff sitting around that the majority of players would never see. I know it sounds like I'm making fun of it, but I actually do like when games do this. Yeah, flooded area. Don't let your area get flooded. The Undead Coming Armageddon. It's that classic Roblox zombie experience, mildly inspired by Left 4 Dead. It's a good execution of a familiar concept. I know I'm not really saying anything. Honestly, I don't know what to say. Let's just look at the lobby. Right off the bat, you can see that they nailed the classic style. There's some modern elements in there, but it doesn't look out of place. And what's really unique to me is that they put a lot of detail into it while still maintaining that style. It reminds me of those pre-F3X era showcase builds. The game itself is what you would expect. There are some mechanics that might be different, might not be, depending on what games you played in the past. Humans can't go outside, otherwise they'll slowly die, but if you put on a gas mask, you could travel for a few seconds. You also have a limited amount of ammo, but ammo spawns randomly around the map, so you're incentivized to look around and not camp. And when the second to last human dies, the final human gets a boost to their speed and a full heal, and it just gives them a good chance of surviving. It's kind of like a sudden death, I guess. I mean, it is a sudden death mode. When you look at the shop, there's a lot of weapons, and it seems like you won't unlock them for a while, but personally I just played the game for fun, and eventually I got a bunch of stuff without really trying to grind for it, because I just enjoyed playing the game. Where it gets interesting though is that you can upgrade your zombies. When I saw this, I immediately set out to buff the crap out of my default zombie, which is free to spawn in, and now it does a bunch of damage, more than it's supposed to, and it's as fast or faster than speedy zombies, which is funny to me. Speedy zombies, fast zombies, who nobody ever calls them. I actually preferred playing as a zombie compared to playing as a human, and when you play as a zombie you get bonus red bricks, which is the zombie currency. Really, you could just pick how you want to play this game in that aspect. Most of the appeal of this game is just how well they did it, not so much like it does anything revolutionary, at least from what I know. So it's just the kind of thing you have to experience for yourself. Welcome to the end of the video. It is also the end of time. I found this artifact in the ground and things just started going backwards at a rapid rate. I've actually had to learn both how to time travel forwards and talk backwards in order to give this message to you. All hope is lost. I don't know what's going to happen when the universe eventually implodes. Like and subscribe.